Contracts. A deal is a deal. Or is it? And that takes us to this week's case. It involves a couple, obviously a man and a wife, in New York. They were there and were going through a divorce. As part of the divorce, it was necessary to split up the marital property. Now, the man was quite wealthy. He had a significant amount of assets, and the judge ordered that he pay 1/2 of the marital property, $6.6 million, to the wife. They entered an agreement. They signed a contract, essentially, which was a property settlement agreement, that the wife would receive $6.6 million. Well, guess what happens? $5.4 million that was held by the man was in an account managed by Bernie Madoff. You may have heard of Bernie Madoff. He was a guy that made off with an awful lot of money that belonged to other people and ripped off people for billions of dollars. Turns out this account that was thought to be worth $5.4 million was actually worth zero. The man went back to court and said, hey, I can't live with this settlement agreement because the money I thought I had, I didn't have, and therefore we need to go back to ground zero and start all over again. Wife said, no, 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 no. A deal is a deal. You agreed under the information that we had that you would be paying half of the property to me. You agreed to pay $6.6 million. You still have to owe me $6.6 million. Well, the judge looked at this and he said, you know, you are absolutely correct when you say we thought there was $5.4 million here. In reality, there wasn't any money in that account, but you both thought there was $5.4 million. What does that mean? That means there was a mutual mistake. You both were of the mistaken belief that the money was there and it wasn't there. Therefore, since you entered an agreement based upon a mutual mistake, that agreement is unenforceable. And the judge voided the agreement. They had to go back to ground zero. Well, what's the lesson in this case? The lesson is a very important lesson, and that is that when a contract is based upon wrong information that both parties believe to be correct, that contract can be voided. Example being, let's assume somebody is selling a car. Person buying the car says, hey, this is terrific. Both parties believe the car has 20,000 miles on it. In reality, it turns out the car has 220,000 miles on it. But both parties thought it only had 20,000 miles on it. When it becomes evident that the car really has much more mileage, much more wear and tear on it, particularly on the engine and drivetrain, than anybody thought it did, well, the person buying that would be able to come back and say, this was a mutual mistake. We both thought the car had 20,000 miles on it. Now that I've had a chance to examine it more fully, I find out, whoa, that it has far more mileage than that. Therefore, I want to void the contract, call the deal off. And guess what? When there's mutual mistake, the parties can call the deal off. All right, we brought you this case this week as we bring you cases every week so you know how the law works. I'm David Allen.